I'm Kris Lovato, and I'm from Cheyenne, Wyoming. I was born in Laramie and raised here. We came to Cheyenne Hills Church when it was at the college in 1993 of December. And we've been here ever since, and it's been a blessing. And I've worked as a hairdresser for 31 years, and the day I had to quit was the day I had kidney failure. October 30th of 2001, it was Ernie's and my 31st wedding anniversary. I woke up feeling really sick, called the doctor right away. She said, come on in. So I went in, and she checked me over and says, I can't find anything significant, so I'll send you home with a prescription. And on the 2nd of November, my mom came to check on me. She opened the door and looked, and she saw my gray ashen face, and she says, right now we're going to the hospital. I was admitted to the hospital with microscopic polyangiitis, which I didn't know what it was, but it quickly turned to total kidney failure. When I was in the hospital, Ernie had come to visit me, so we prayed and talked and cried a lot. And he fell asleep in the chair. And when I was sitting there in my bed, I saw this light at the side of my bed, and it went around to the foot of the bed, and I heard this voice tell me, everything's going to be okay. I couldn't believe my eyes or my ears. I thought it was a figment of my imagination, but I did go to sleep finally. And the next day I got a card in the mail, and it had this verse in it from Isaiah 40:29 and 31. He gives power to the weak, and to those who have no might, he gives strength. And I didn't realize at that time how weak I was going to get and how much strength I was going to need to get through what I had to get through. So I was sent to ICU. I was put on a ventilator. I had 9 chest tubes, IVs, feeding tubes. And there I was put into a drug-induced coma for a month so my body could heal. And when I came out of the coma, they had to teach me how to breathe again on my own, and they would take that ventilator out and try to get me to breathe, and it was such a scary thing. I thought I was suffocating. I was there. That was month 2. First month was the coma. Second month was getting the ventilator off and learning how to breathe. The third month, I was in ICU still, and I couldn't move anything. After I came out of the coma, I couldn't move anything but my head. Couldn't move my arms, legs, anything. Pastor Dick would come up to the ICU unit, and he would pray, and my dad would be there. I remember they let people come in and see me, my immediate family, and my dad would be there, and Ernie, and one time my Bible study group was able to come in and pray, and I couldn't have done it without the prayers. I just couldn't have done it because I prayed myself, and it seemed like God didn't hear my prayers. I felt like he'd abandoned me. But with those people building me up in prayer, I held on to that. I just held on to that. I knew something good was going to come. I got out of the hospital in May, and I started testing in September to see if I'd be able to get a kidney. Praise the Lord, I was. I got put on the national list, and it usually takes 1.5 to 5 years then to get a kidney. Now it's 3 to 5 years. But on the night of May 6th, 2003, I got a call from my transplant coordinator in Denver. She says, we have a kidney for you. And I was just in shock. I asked Ernie, should I take it? And he said, well, of course, because he was going to be my donor. And we were led into my room at 5:30 a.m., and my surgery was at 2:30. And I woke up the next morning in ICU, and I had a urine bag full of urine, and it was the greatest gift ever. And God came through, and he gave me a new life through my precious, precious donor. He was a 30-year-old male. His name was Travis, and he had a brain hemorrhage. So anytime we'd go fishing or go anywhere, I'd say, Travis, we're fishing, or I'm taking you to the flea market today. And you know, he's right here always. And it's wonderful. It's a miracle. It's a true miracle. I cannot imagine what I've gone through if I didn't have God at my side, even though at times I thought he wasn't there. He was. He was holding me. It would have been a hopelessness like I can't even imagine. If you're going through something like I've gone through, and the pain was so terrible, and the loneliness and the darkness, and you feel like there's nobody there that cares, God is there. We may not be able to feel him, we may not be able to see him, but when you get through this, you'll be able to look back and you'll see all the little spots where Jesus was there. He was holding you. He was loving you. There's many times when I had COVID that I was able to pray with my nurses because he was there. Even in my darkness, God was there with me. And it helped me get through because COVID was horrible. It was terrible. Everything that I've gone through has ended up being for God's glory. And that's what it's all about. Everything we do is for God's glory. It's all about him, not about us. It's about God.